coming in here.
I spent the night on a mat on a concrete floor in deplorable conditions while this woman, this squatter, slept in my home.
Just think of it from this perspective, though. Everybody isn't as fortunate as you to have a bed. No, I'm just saying, a bed, the little things.
To see that woman walk into my mom's house while I was in a police car, something is wrong with this picture. Something is inherently wrong with this picture.
Fourth Amendment, you can't take people's stuff, including their house. I see a huge lawsuit against the police department in this woman's future. Brianna Lyman, elections correspondent at The Federalist, and Terry Schilling, president of America's Principles Project. Brianna, this makes my blood boil.
Carl, I like to think that the three of us have a lot of common sense, so we probably all ask the same question, which is, why is this allowed to happen? And then you realize this. A lot of these squatting incidents happen in left-leaning, lead blue areas, right? So California, New York, Atlanta, Georgia. And one of the things about leftists now these days is they don't want to be a Democrat. They want to be socialist. And one of the underpinnings of capitalism is this idea of property rights. When you can corrode this idea of property rights, so for instance, you make property theft permissible. Look to California. You could steal up to X amount of dollars, no charges. When you make things like what the CDC did in 2020, where they told landlords, you don't have property rights. You can't evict your tenant if they don't pay rent because we said so. And it actually continued until the Supreme Court stepped in. And when you have these incidents of squatters, the reason that these Democrats in these areas aren't taking a urgent approach to fixing this and making this correct is because they don't want to. They want to corrode capitalism so they can usher in socialism, and this helps them.
Yeah. Terry, Trump was at obviously the TPUSA event this weekend, and he had some good stuff to say. Roll this.
Woke has to stop because along with everything else, it's destroying our country. We're going to stop woke. Woke is bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
It is. And this is why we love him, right? It is absolutely BS. And I'm saving you another FCC fine after
Appreciate
last
that.
week. So, but listen, he's exactly right. And this is why people voted for President Trump to get back into the White House is they're sick of all this stuff. The real thing about wokeism that's so egregious is just how in your face it is, but also how it goes after our children, right? It has to go after children primarily and people with mommy and daddy issues. That's the only people that it works with because everyone else is too stable. Everyone else is too normal, and they're too darn smart to fall for all of this woke BS, as President Trump says.
Yeah, no, and the other thing, Brianna, that he was saying was BS, and look, we've all been saying this all along because it just makes sense, but let's keep men out of women's spaces. I mean, this is why. A man faces charges after refusing to leave the women's restroom while wearing only underwear. The report said, according to the court documents, 2 women were in the restroom when a 200-pound, 6'3" tall man, recently released from prison, 35-year-old, walked in nearly naked, identified himself as Josephine, and this is all to the police afterwards. He was leaving the. I mean, come on.
Well, Carl, please refer to Josephine by her pronouns correctly. One of the problems with the left is they want you to indulge in their psychosis when it comes to things like gender, right?
Yeah.
But America collectively, which is what Trump was speaking to, should refuse to indulge in the psychosis, right? The left wants to claim to be the party of science. You can't pick and choose when science is applicable, right? Science tells us there are not more than 2 genders, right? You can't just switch your gender because you suddenly decide to be Josephine one day or I decide to be Brian. That's not how it works. And they have just gone so far downhill, the left-wing side of the Democratic Party. So I think Donald Trump coming back into office will get us course corrected.
I hope so. But Terry, take a listen to what Trump had to say about, all this crazy stuff. Actually, you know what? I want to get one more thing before you leave here. This tax assessor woman, okay? This is a little bit older headline, but it resurfaced. It's from October, where an elected official, she's a tax collector. She's also in charge of voter rolls and a couple other things. She didn't show up for work for 4 years, and nobody noticed, Terry.
Listen, Carl, I'm going to take this moment after seeing that headline again and being reminded. I just want to let all of my supporters at APP know that I've decided to retire. I decided to go into a much more esteemed line of work, one that doesn't even require me to come in. I've got 7 kids, right? And I need those free hours and that free taxpayer money to help take care of them. So it's been good. It's been nice knowing all of you guys, but I'm retiring from APP and the presidency here. Hopefully there can be some leadership that steps to the rank to fill. This is ridiculous, Carl. When will it ever stop? This happens at the EPA. It happened in the last, every time there's a government shutdown, we find out that there's all these government employees that really just don't show up to work. They don't do anything. It's like, how many of these employees are actually non-essential? We can probably learn a lot just from the numbers that the government says are non-essential workers.
Yeah, we could start with, I think, like 2% of the people who work from home in the federal government are actually working. So